Hey everyone, Renee here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you all the books that I hope to get to in the month of May. So something that I've noticed with my TBR so far this year is they don't hold up. I'm so much of a mood reader that I'll make these TBRs with the intention of, wow, I'm kind of in the mood for that now. Like, I'll definitely read it in May. But then I forget that May is more than a fleeting moment, or a month is more than a fleeting moment. It's a whole month, and my mood changes a lot. So I'll look at my TBR, and then I'll look online, and I'll see something else that I want, and I'll buy it, and then I'll read that. Or I'll go back through my shelf, and I'll find other books that I haven't read that I want to read. So my TBRs haven't been as followed as I thought they would be. But we're still coming at you with the TBR. This is a pretty eclectic TBR. There's a little bit more on this because these are books that I'm definitely in the mood to read. But I am comfortable knowing now that I probably won't finish it, and there will probably be other books thrown in throughout the month. But at the moment, these are what I want to read. And yeah, let's just get to the books. So the first book that I have is Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is the second book in the Brown Sisters trilogy. I did read Get a Life, Chloe Brown last month, and I was obsessed with it. I absolutely loved it. I rated it 5 stars. So I'm super excited to get to the second one in this series. These are just fun rides. The romance is awesome. The comedy is definitely there. While reading the Chloe Brown one, I was laughing the whole book, and the romance was very, very sweet. So I'm hoping that continues in this one. I honestly haven't even read the summary to know what's going to happen in this one. I just know that I loved the first one so much, so why wouldn't I also love this one? Plus, I actually heard that this was everyone's favorite, so I'm really excited. So next up we have The Right Swipe by Alicia Rye. This is a book that I'm actually currently reading, so it's my little bookmark, and I'm really enjoying this so far. So The Right Swipe follows our main character, who is the CEO of this new popular dating app, and she is the CEO of this company but also doesn't really believe in letting her guard down and opening up to love, which is kind of contradictory to her app from what I know. But there is this rival company that she's trying to buy, and then in walks our main male character who she has a past with, who just so happens to work for that company, but they have to end up working together at the same time. So it's definitely really interesting to see the relationships between the two, because she wants nothing to do with him, but he is like, oh my gosh, it's you, but then they're rivals. But so far, I'm about 100 pages in, and I really like the writing style of it. I really love the story. I am really enjoying the character. Our main character has a lot of sass. So I'm really just intrigued to see where it goes. Next up, we have a book that is actually a reread because I have not read the rest of the series yet, and that is astounding to me. But that is An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. Yes, I have never read anything more than the first book in the series, which is mind-blowing to me because I loved this book. But I haven't read any of the other ones, and I just feel left out. So I wanted to reread this one first before I continued with the series. So I definitely want to get to this one this month and then finish the series before the end of the year. And something I love about this paperback is it is the floppiest of all flops. This is one of the floppiest paperbacks I've ever touched. But yeah, everybody loves the series, and I loved the first one, so I also want to love the series. So I'm definitely going to be getting to this in May, and I'm really excited about this journey. Next up, we have Witches Steeped in Gold by CNN Smart. This is a book that I just got out of the April Owl Crate, and I am just so excited to see where this goes. It involves witches. It involves a battle. It just sounds so dope. Enemies bent on revenge, an unlikely alliance, one witch left standing. But our main character has spent her life in a cell, heir to an overthrown and magically gifted dynasty. She was exiled from her home on an island nation of Aika, when just a child, but every day brings her closer to freedom and vengeance. Jasmine Carriot grew up dressed in gold with stolen magic at her fingertips. Daughter of the self-crowned Doyen, her existence is a threat to her mother's rule. But unlike her sister before her, Jasmine has no intention of dying to strengthen her mother's power. Sworn enemies, the two witches enter a deadly alliance to take down a woman who threatens both of their worlds. What more do you need? Like, that just sounds so dope to me. And since this book just came out, I actually have not heard anybody talk about this yet. I've heard people mention wanting to read it, but I haven't heard any reviews on it yet. So I'm kind of going into this with a completely blank slate, and I'm really hoping to love it. So we'll see how it goes. I definitely plan on getting to this one in May. This is one of the ones that I 100% want to get to. Next up, we have Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. This is a book that has been on my radar for a while. I think it was actually on one of my earlier TBRs in the beginning of the year, and I just never got to it. Of course I didn't. But it is going to be my very first Mary H.K. Choi book. I've never read a book by her, but everyone seems to love her, so I'm really excited to delve into her work. It seems like a very interesting concept, and I think it'll be a really quick read. And really all I know is that our two main characters randomly meet one day and decide to swap numbers, and then it kind of goes through their interactions with each other, and I am really hoping to get a sweet romance out of it, and I really hope I enjoy it because this is just a book that I want to like. Like, I want to like it. Like, not liking it just doesn't seem like it's something that I want. I don't know. Do you ever have that? Do you ever have a book that you look at and you're like, I can't not like you? For me, that's this. Then we have The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. This was one of my most anticipated releases of 2021, and I haven't read it yet. Of course not. But I figured this month was the perfect month to read it because it is my friend Jan's book club pick of the month, so I'm going to be reading this alongside that. This book just screams everything to me. And from what I know, the gist of this book is about a woman who makes potions to give to women to rid themselves of the men in their lives who have wronged them. And then, really, I just said that perfectly, and I feel like I have to redo it because a rude-ass truck drove by all loud. From what I know, the gist of this to be is our main character who makes potions to give to women to rid themselves of the men in their lives who have wronged them. And one of the rules of these potions is that they can never use the potions to harm another woman. And all of the potions that are given out to these women are kept in a list. And then one day that list goes missing. And it's kind of a mystery of who took the list, but it's also got other elements to it, such as just the time period that it's set in, which I actually don't remember. London. So there's a lot of interesting things going for this book. I really don't think I've ever read a book like this before. So I'm really, really excited. And this cover, honestly, is one of my favorite covers. I love the simplistic florals with the dark colors. Then we have a book that I didn't ever really expect to read, but we're gonna read it anyway. And that is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is a book that I just have heard so many mixed reviews on. I just never knew if I wanted to actually pick it up myself. It is a thriller, and it's supposed to be this really creepy, awesome read, and some people loved it, and then I've also heard some people who didn't like it as much. So I decided to kind of just take it upon myself and make that decision for myself. And I don't even really know that much about this book, other than it's set in a really creepy house. So our main character essentially goes to this house to save her newlywed cousin, but ends up drawn into the secrets, and it pretty much just goes from there. I hope that it's as creepy as I've heard. I hope that it's a good thriller. I hope that it's not predictable. I hope that it's not boring. I don't think I've ever read a book set in Mexico before, so that is really interesting. And something else that I realized, this is set in the 1950s, Lost Apothecary set in the 1800s. Then the next two books that I have on here are audiobooks, and the first one is Lock Every Door by Riley Sagar. This is going to be my first Riley Sagar book, and I don't know what to expect. I know people always talk about Riley Sagar books. I feel like I always see them floating around, but I've never actually read them for myself. So I decided to start with this one. This one sounded like it had a really good premise, a nice Gothic apartment style mansion. Sounds right up my alley. And essentially it follows our main character who accepts a job to work at this apartment as an apartment sitter to earn money to get by because she's in a really tough spot. And there's something not right at that apartment building and people are going missing. So she's kind of trying to piece together what's happening there. And that alone just sounds like such an interesting premise to me. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. I do have this on audiobook. I am excited to pick it up and listen to it on my way to work. But I hope I don't get creeped out first thing in the morning. But also I kind of do, because that's the point. Then the next book is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This is a book that I've seen floating around a lot, but I never actually picked it up. To be honest, I don't know as much about this one. I do know that our main character, I believe, has Asperger's, so we love to see that representation. And there's a romance. That's pretty much it. But I've just heard so many people talking about this that I feel like it's time to read it, and it was available on Libby, so I was like, all right, maybe it's time. So yeah, we're gonna give this a shot. Hopefully I'll have a better synopsis of it after I read it for my wrap up. But for now, we're just gonna go with, this is what I'm reading. And that's pretty much it for my main TBR. Will I read books other than those? Probably. But I'm really hoping to get through at least most of these. I'm very interested in all of these books, and I think there's a really nice variety in here. Some romance, some thriller, some fantasy, everything I love. So hopefully no matter what I'm in the mood for, I'll have something on here to pick from. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have for you. Those are all the books. Let me know what you're reading down in the comments below for the month of May. Maybe we're reading some of the same things. That'd be pretty cool. We can discuss them together. But if you did like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up down below to support this channel, and also hit subscribe to follow me on my reading journey. And of course, like always, my socials will be linked down below if you want to follow me more closely outside of here. Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, the works. And once again, I hope you like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!